In this episode of Hammer's Garage, I'm coming to you from the most exciting and wonderful place on earth. Nope, I'm in the RV park, and we're going to take another crack at Cinderella here, see if we can get it to stay running. She is being an ornery hussy. I haven't touched this thing in like 2 months or so, so I went ahead and put the battery charger on it. But if you're not up to speed on Cinderella here, I'll put a link to the playlist down in the description. But the long and short of it is, I bought this, I don't know, several months ago, and it ran. But as soon as we bought it, the transmission went out, so I had to replace that. And then we got it all cleaned up, well, as best we could. I kind of refreshed the interior with some fresh carpet, you know, and cleaned all that up. Put some cool mag wheels on it, and refreshed the way the engine looked and everything, and it ran okay, but it is not without issues. So the thing is, it can't keep it running. Oh, what haven't we done to this car? Let's see, in the process of refreshing it, you know, we painted a bunch of stuff, but I put a new mechanical fuel pump on it, and then that one leaked, so I went and got a second mechanical fuel pump, and then I was having issues there, so I went and got an electric fuel pump. It had the original auto light or whatever 2100 carb on it, and I did a rebuild on it, but then learned that the choke was busted, so I got this from Amazonia, and I put this on. The fuel line is basically all new. They had run new line back to the tank or whatever, so, you know, I don't know. I guess maybe I just assumed that all that was good, but we can't keep fuel here for whatever reason. So what I suspect is that the pickup tube or the sending unit in the tank or whatever, or the tank itself, is mucked up somehow or another. So I have a way we can test that to see if that's the problem. Basically, what I'm going to do is disconnect this here, this fuel line that goes back to the tank. That is, if I can get it to come off the dang filter here. Oh, there it goes. And I've got this section of line here that we're just going to run straight into a gas can. I mean, eventually, once I get this clamp figured out here, we'll just drop this down here. Will that work? No, that won't work. Not long enough. Why didn't I get a longer section? That should do it. I got this little 2-gallon can here, and I went down and put a gallon in it, but it's got this stupid thing in here. So I'm going to see if I can get that out so the hose will go all the way to the bottom of the tank. All right, let's see if I can. Oh, it's coming. There we go. Look at that. What, I mean, what, really? That has an interesting look to it, huh? I guess just for, you know, convenience, we can just put this right here. As long as we don't get crazy sparks or flames or any of that, it should be fine. I need to somehow keep that from curling up out of the gas. There's not a lot of gas in there. I got my extra long screwdriver here, and we'll just shove this up right quick to make sure we get all the, you know, make sure it's basically at the bottom. I don't want to give this thing any more excuses for not running. Next thing I want to do here is take this. Well, it's the mailman. I want to take this pre-carb filter off, just in case it's restricting flow or some other nonsense that I don't know about, since I can't see inside of it. Okay, not doing that, because the fitting I need to replace this filter, I apparently threw away or something. I can't find it, and I'm not going out to buy one. So we'll just assume that there's no restriction here with this filter. I mean, it is new, so it should be, you know, hunky-de-dory. I think it's been charging long enough. We'll just turn that off. I'm gonna make sure the key's not on. I have been known to do, you know, knuckle-headed things. Okay, not on. Okay, let's see if it'll just run. The choke should work and all that stuff. There we go. The fuel pump is running. We have fuel. Fire in the hole. Maybe we idle it up, huh? I'm just checking for vacuum leak, for make sure all my vacuum plugs and everything are still on here. And they are. Let's try it again. Still don't want to idle. Boy, it's close, huh? I put my long screwdriver in the gas can, and now I don't have one to. I'm gonna have to see if I can get in here. I'm just gonna adjust these mixture screws out a little bit. Okay. Oh man, that idle screw is all the way down, which is not cool. Boy, it's the darndest thing. If I tickle the throttle just a little, it'll stay running just a little. But as soon as I let off of it, it dies. I don't want to turn these out anymore, really, but I'm just adjusting these again, and I'm just checking all my vacuum. Make sure I'm not missing a vacuum port. I'm going to back this all the way out and then turn it one full turn, so I have a decent basic setting, you know what I mean? We'll try it again. We'll just keep after it here. I'm just wondering, is it timing related maybe? Problem is I can't keep it running long enough to check the timing. Of course I could. Well, no, that wouldn't work either. Anyway, let's try it again. Well, it's a few hours later because, you know, the sun out here in Southern California. In the afternoons, I don't know, it's just super intense. It's like the seventh circle of hell. Anyway, I got my little remote gig here, and I was checking the fast idle cam on the carb. I think it's okay. I went back to on those idle mixture screws all the way in and then 2 turns out. And so we're after it again here. But this way, maybe I can fiddle with the carb and the timing out here. Let me go turn that key on. Yeah. Sell it to the next farmer. I want to check while I got it running and see if I can find a vacuum leak. Yes, yes, yes. We figured it out. There is a massive intake vacuum leak down here. Remember, well, if you didn't watch the video, maybe go back and watch those videos. But there was a bunch of goo and stuff in there, and I knew it when I was messing around with that could be a problem. And it is. Massive vacuum leak right there. So, somehow or another, we got to fix that. So basically what you saw me do there was I had adjusted the fast idle cam, like I maxed it out, and I adjusted the idle way high, and the engine was cold, so that's how I was able to get it, you know, to that point. And then when I was doing this, I noticed it actually revved up, um, and that high pitched air sucking sound you heard was definitely this manifold. So we got to get all this off. Good times. All right, I got the battery disconnected. Choke. This transmission kick down. Ow, that little pin is sharp. Get out of there, you little. There we go. If I don't get that back on there, I will lose it. I still think we have a fuel flow challenge from the tank there, because with it sucking out of the can right here, that filter was pretty full, and it wasn't like that before. But we'll figure that part out once we get this fixed. Get off of there. Okay, let's get the carburetor out of the way. The moral of the story here is trust your gut, because I had a feeling that that's what all that goop was down there for. Little teeny spaces and big fat fingers do not make good bedfellows. What am I still oh, my spring. Now we'll pop off the distributor cap here. Disconnect our coil. They don't want to come off. No, that's my home. My goodness, these things do not want to just spin off of there. Okay, we'll get this joker off. And this throttle bracket. Put them back so I don't lose them. Pop off our vacuum for the transmission there. I say pop off, like it comes easy. Well, you will come off of there. There we go. So we got to pull the distributor. I'm going to mark where this rotor is pointing on the housing. I'm just going to kind of scratch it here so I know. Yeah. I mean, it's lined right up with where all of this is, so hopefully I can remember that. But if not, you can always snap a picture or whatever, but I think I got it. I do not know why I keep pulling metric. What in the devil? I've got my dang metric stuff mixed in with the others in this little porta box here, and I keep pulling out the dang metric stuff. All right, y'all, make sure you remember where that was. All right, well, I think that's everything. We got to drain the water. We got to make sure that we don't leak this coolant here in the RV park. For some reason, dogs are attracted to it, and of course, it's lethal. I don't need old Mrs. Whittington coming by with her prize schnauzer and him lapping it up. Next thing you know, I'm on the hook for a dog and blackballed from the kennel club. Come on. You can do it. I think we got away with that. Cool. Okay, we got to get these top hoses off. And I'm just trying to get this little bypass hose, and they're always fun. And we got to get this heater hose off. All right, intake bolts. I don't have my baby impact, so this is going to be 100% manual. I just want to loosen them all up first. Start from the center, work your way out. Careful not to break any. That would be a catastrophe. Oh, that one was feeling a little too snug for comfort. Get these special bolts for the four corners, and I have no idea if that's for a reason, if it's correct. Who knows? Not me. Not a Ford guy. I'm gonna lay these in the fender well right here, because you know that's the best way not to lose them. That one's pretty cruddy, and it's missing the washer, and that's where our issue was. What I'll do when I go to put these back on is I'll get lock washers for these, take up the slack, and make sure that they tighten the way they should. Okay, I think we can pop it off of here. Let's see if it's going to do it without a fight, huh? I'm going to guess that's a no. Claw hammer. Oh, man. Holy crap. Man, this thing is heavy. It weighs as much as I do after a trip to the Golden Corral. Look what we got here. This is where, I don't know how well you could see it, but this is where our leak was. I guess I'll just clean this up and see what the underside looks like. I really am hoping this is a gasket problem more than anything else. We'll find out. We get it all cleaned up. As long as I don't see any, crazy cracks in it, then we're just gonna put it back on. I mean, what did they seal this up with? Construction adhesive? Jeez Louise. And all her snooty friends. Let's see if we can get these water passages cleaned up, huh? Oh, that's not a water passage. God, you're a dumbass. Listen, fellas, don't put your intake manifold gaskets on with liquid nails, okay? All right, well, the good news is here, I don't see any evidence of a crack. So I think we can just clean this up and, clean up the valley and put it back on and reseal it, and I think it should be fine. And since I've got to imagine that watching somebody clean up an intake manifold is probably as exciting as watching a documentary on the mating habits of the North Asian goldfish, I'm going to go ahead and just get this done, run out, get some parts and hardware, come back, and I'll see you when it's ready to put back on. Well, we got to get all this cleaned up too, and you can clearly see right here where our leak was. Look at all the goo. Come on, man. There we go, all cleaned up. But I did notice in the head there's some pitting here in the metal, runs along the top here. So I think we'll hit that with some, it's kind of rough when you feel it. Hit that with some RTV before we clamp a seal down on it. Well, I think we can work to seal this puppy up. I got this mega black. Mega. It's mega. I'm going to put some around the water jackets. Reach. Reach. Now we're going to build us a big fat China wall here, front and rear. This stuff doesn't squeeze very well. Come on, stuff. Squeeze out. My goo is popping. All right, I think I got it all fixed up. We'll let that skin up a little bit and go hit the intake. Water jackets. Get them water jackets. We'll just RTV the ever-loving snot out of it. I got the goo on me. We got to put our gaskets on. Try to get them to sit tight there while we, so we can get the intake in place. I'm just going to kind of press it into the goo there. They have little clip things clip onto the head gaskets, but the head gasket clips on the driver's side are no longer there. So we're kind of hoping, I'm kind of hoping that the goo will hold it in place well and long enough. Went and got me some new hardware from the hardware store for the center bolts. Is it correct? I don't know. Now we got to see if we can get this on here without hosing anything up. Just drop it in there, nice and easy. Nice and easy. Did that do it? Well, it should be fine. Let me get something, start running them in. Now I'm just getting these snug for right now. And we're starting in the center and working our way out. You know the drill. Now we got to torque this puppy down. We're going to start with 10 pounds. I think it only goes to 20. All right. Well, she's on there. All we got to do now is put it back together. Reassembly time. My favorite. Let's get this dang bypass hose. Such a pain in the butt. Get on there, you little booger. This is not what I would call cooperation. Yeah, you'll get on there now, won't you? The dang alternator is in the way of me getting the lower hose put back on. Haha, I got you. More than one way to skin a lower radiator hose, as they say. I've never actually heard anybody say that, but we can pretend. I got to bend this back down. I kind of bent it out of the way, earlier. That ought to be fine. Now we got to hope we can put this back in place the way it was. That's it right there. How about that? Of course, we won't really know if I got that correct until we fire it up, but I feel pretty good about it. Tell me something good. Yeah. There we go. We got to put our magic can, our magic spark can back on here. Fire water machine. Well, I do believe we're all set to go here. I'm going to give it a while for the RTV to set up, and then we got to dump some clean water in here and see if we've solved our problem. I do believe I want to fill this back up with clean water as opposed to whatever rusty liquid crud came out of here. You better not leak either, you hear me? You better not leak. If I see one drop, you're going to be soup cans. And now I'm going to set these idle mixture screws back to a good starting point here. We're starting from scratch. 1, 1.5, 2. Gotta put our fuel can back in here. All right, we'll hook our battery back up here. And our little remote doohickey thingamabob. Perfect. Go turn the key on, get some fuel in it. Ow. Oh. I always hit my head. Well, we'll see. Well, I believe I know what that means. Well, obviously we have something more serious going on here. Head gaskets, cracked head, cracked block, cracked intake. I mean, who knows? This thing really needs to be torn down, which is obviously not something I'm going to be doing here. So that's going to wrap us up for now. Hope you liked this video. Hope you enjoyed it, got something out of it. If you did, please like, share, subscribe. I'm not saying Cinderella's going away forever, but it'll probably be some time before you see it again. We really need to get this in the shop. So in the meantime, get off the couch and go wrench on something. I got to clean this up before the park manager comes by.